superheroes. I'm Pink Phoenix, coming to you from Purdue University's College of Veterinary Medicine. I'm with League of VetaHumanz, and this is VetaHumanz Live. Welcome to Season 2, where we are following our VetaHumanz in training veterinary students from their journey from before veterinary college all the way to doctor and beyond. I'm your host, Sandra San Miguel, otherwise known as Pink Phoenix, and I'm excited to get started. Today, our special guest is AMANDACONDA. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right, how long have you been in vet college now? What week is it?
Okay, we just ended week 5, so a little over a month is completed.
What's it been like so far? Is it what you thought?
You know, it actually hasn't been that bad. Like, it's really not that bad when you think about it, because we had our first 2 rounds of exams are finished, completed, and they went well, so I'm really happy about that.
Nice,
And
congratulations.
Thank you. And what else? Yeah, it hasn't been too bad so far, so I'm chilling.
Hey, I love it.
Mhm.
Have you encountered any challenges, or what's been anything that's been challenging? One thing that was a little challenge, and how are you overcoming it?
I would say so. Okay, so far, I feel like I have been like doing okay. Challenge that I anticipate that will happen, or like I'm like working actively not to let happen, is like getting behind. So like
Yeah.
I've been like really trying to like do something every single day, like a little bit every single day, so I don't get to that part where I'm like super behind and I feel like I need to like catch up. So like I'm actively trying not to do that, and I haven't let that happen yet. So I'm really excited about that.
I love that.
Yes.
That's so proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Very good habits. So what's been the best part of vet college so far?
I guess like the best part is like actually learning something that you can like apply to like your career. Cause like in undergrad, I felt like I was learning all this knowledge, but like it wasn't applicable to like what I'm doing. So it's like I'm learning it just to like have it, but then I'll just like forget it. But then like what we've been learning in the past like month, we've been like being able to like incorporate it in everything we have been doing, and it's all like meshing together and like connecting. So I'm like, okay, this all makes sense now, and like I understand why we're learning it, because like we need to know it. You know what I mean?
Can you share an example?
I guess like for physiology and like foundations, so we've been like learning about different, what do I say, like mechanisms and stuff like that. And so in A&I we had like a case about blood and about like how like glucose gets into the cells and all that stuff. And in nutrition also, we were like learning about the foods you eat and like the nutrients you get and how it gets into the body. But then that like ties into like the glucose sodium like mechanism that I just learned like a couple weeks ago. So it's like I didn't have to just like memorize, oh, like glucose is accompanied by like sodium when it goes into the cell. Like I already knew that because I learned it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what a coincidence.
Wild when everything starts coming together. And then wait till you get into clinics. You can really apply it.
Yeah.
What is the coolest mechanism that you've learned about, or anything, the coolest thing that you have learned?
Probably. So I really, really enjoy anatomy. So I've been learning like to read radiographs and like do ultrasound. And I think that's like the coolest thing ever, because before like vet school, I would just be like holding like restraint for like the doctors, and they're like, this is the kidney, this is the bladder. And I'm just like, And now I can like actually be like, okay, I can see that now. Like before I was just like, okay.
That's exciting. Yeah, I remember diagnostic imaging was always challenging for me.
Yeah.
So you've gotten to go on some community visits. How has that been?
It's been really fun. The kids are so funny. They're literally hilarious. They're funny. And it's like super cool, like teaching them about like the stuff we're gonna do, and like when they are actually like answering our questions and like being engaging, it's like cool because it's like when I was younger, when I was at that age, like I would have wished like someone like or an organization could have like came and like taught me about stuff like this. And so it's cool to see that they're actually like engaged and like interested in what we have to say. So
What's the funnest thing that you've gotten to teach so far?
Probably just like the different instruments we have and we get to use, and then like it's cool that they like actually remember what it's like for, because like a bowling gun, like I wouldn't have known what that was at like their age, but like now they do, so it's like okay, cool. So yeah.
Yeah, that made me proud too, because we had done that with the third graders last year and they remembered it. They're taking what they're learning in school and remembering it after school.
Yeah.
And they were so happy too. Great. Okay, every month I am going to ask you for a goal for the next month.
Okay.
So what is one thing that you want to work on to be a better student, human being, veterinarian, anything at all, to be better next month?
I probably want to get, okay, so like I've been starting to doing like group studying, which in undergrad I was not a group studier at all. Like I just did like studying by myself, like last minute studying, but I haven't been doing that now, so that's good. But I've been doing like group studying, and in like the groups, I feel like we all like kind of are at like the same like level of understanding, and then when we get to talk it out, it like helps us and it helps everyone. But then like when say like someone's like gonna ask a question for someone to explain it, and then like we're all confused, but most of the time I feel like I know it, but I just don't want to confuse anybody else, so I just like keep it to myself because I'm not that confident in like the knowledge. But then like when I like take the exam and like it ends up being fine, I'm just like, okay, so you actually do know the knowledge. And so like I feel like in group studying I should be able to like I should just be more confident in my answers, if that makes sense, in my knowledge. Yeah. So I can like help other people, but also help myself by like explaining it to like teach. So I'm going to try to do that more, like being more confident.
That makes total sense. And yeah, it's hard to speak up. I still have a hard time speaking up. I love that you're working on that. Yeah. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk personal care. Tell me about eating, sleeping, taking time for fun things, or managing stress. What are you doing?
So I've been going to the gym twice a week, and I've been going at 5 a.m. So I'm still doing it. So we're doing good on that. And then as far as like meals, I have been meal prepping too, and I haven't fallen off the chain. Like I designate my Sundays for like meal prepping, grocery shopping for the week, so I don't have to like worry about like any meals during the school week. And so I've still been doing that. What else? We haven't been doing too much like social activities like outside of studying on the weekends, but I did go to the Aces versus Fever game last Friday in Indianapolis, so that was really fun.
That's very cool.
And yeah, so yeah, we're gonna try to do better at like doing actual social, like getting out of the house, because every single weekend, like since vet school started, like we've only been studying like from sunup to sundown on Saturdays, and then on Sunday we'll like go to church, but then we'll just go straight back to studying. So yeah.
But good that you're keeping up and keeping that balance. Nice job going to the gym. What has been your biggest win in the past 5 weeks?
My biggest win has probably been the foundation exams, because in undergrad, I'm gonna be honest, I did not pay attention to biochemistry at all in undergrad. So like I did not retain anything. And so when we got here and we started learning biochemistry, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna have to lock in. And I did. And so like this second exam that we took this past Monday, oh my goodness, that was probably the worst exam I had of my life. Like I was sitting there like during the exam and I'm like, what is she asking? And so like I was just like, oh my goodness. And I walked out and I'm like, this is like, that was probably the worst I ever did. But I actually did like fine. So that was like a huge relief off my shoulder, and I felt so good after that, because I was just like, oh my goodness, like I was like expecting the worst. So that was a good win.
That builds confidence. So tell us more about foundations. What are some of the things you're learning? What's the class? What's the class about? And what are just some of the highlights topics?
So basically the class is like a crash course on like biochemistry. So we're like learning the different types of like cells. We're learning like the different type of like receptors and mechanisms that like when proteins come in and out the cell and like stuff like that. And it's almost over. We just had our last lecture. Well, we had our last lecture on Wednesday, and then today we just went over our exams, and then the final exam is next week. So it's only a 6-week course, and I think what like the reason we take it is like for everyone to get the same like basis of knowledge, because like what I've seen in the class, like we use it in other classes, so it makes sense that we all need to like take it and like know that knowledge. So yeah,
and it's a short course, right? It's How much longer do you have?
We have 1 more week, but it's not even of like lectures or anything because our final exam is next Friday. So we have 5 weeks of like lectures and then in labs, and then the 6th week is just like the review like on your own, and then you just take the final, and then it'll be over.
It'll be over. On to the next thing. So what's been your favorite lab so far? Or favorite hands-on thing that you've gotten to do so far?
Probably something in VSAC to deal with like the horses and stuff, because like in undergrad when I like dealt with horses, it was like at like CSU's orthopedic like research like center, and all I was doing was like scoop and poop, which is necessary and it's fine, and I'm glad I had that job and like had that experience, but like there was no like learning anything much about the horses. It was just like learning where not to put yourself so you don't get kicked or bit by a horse. So I'm really excited to like be hands-on with the horse and like learn how to lead them and like do like hoof picking. So that's been really fun.
That's wonderful. Anything else you want to share with our listeners about the first few weeks of vet college?
If anyone is pre-vet and you're listening, vet school so far is not that bad, guys. It's not that bad. And as long as you just like lean on your friends and ask your professors for help, like everybody will help you. Because like once you're here, like everyone wants to see you succeed. So it's really not that bad.
Excellent advice. And that made me very happy as well. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Well, thanks so much for being on the show. Listeners, viewers, you can learn more about the League of VetaHumanz Superheroes at VetaHumanz.org. And if you like this episode, and I know that you did, please subscribe, rate, share it with your friends, share it with everybody. And remember, use your powers for good.